Welcome to No Room for Phonies. We're at episode 159. And when I look at our
and we're not slowing down.
We're not slowing down except for today. When I look at our statistics, we just are having an increased number of downloads. But we're not having an increased number of comments. So if you have comments or you want to email us about something, please don't hesitate. We'd love to hear your questions or your feedback. We would really love to hear that. So don't hesitate to do that. But episode 159 is about slowing down and living what I call a softer life.
Nice.
So there's a quiet revolution unfolding, and it doesn't demand attention. It doesn't race to the top. It lingers in candlelight. It slows down. It pauses at the first sip of tea. It laces intention into the ordinary. It walks instead of runs. This revolution is called the soft, slow life, and it's calling to us, I believe, in these times. The soft, slow life is not about weakness, passivity, laziness, or giving up. The soft, slow life is a rebellion against burnout, against guilt, against a myth that you must do it all to be enough. And really, honestly, after listening to some podcasts with Brene Brown and Adam Grant, it's not about shame either. It's about letting go of shame. Whatever shame you're holding, to let go of.
Carrying it. The quiet life is thinking of grace over grind. Not thinking of just spinning out all the time and working hard. It's to create beauty without apologizing for yourself, and setting boundaries without being afraid of the outcome and the reaction. Define success by how your life feels, not just by how it looks. Avoid burnout, a bruised heart, overscheduling, and stop hustling for your worth.
The soft, slow life is a shift in perception, moving through life with intention and gentleness, even when there's chaos. Choosing peace is your new default, and softness is wisdom, slowness, rest, presence, clarity, making space for awareness, and really honestly doing one thing at a time. Multitasking has been shown to be not a good thing for people.
And doing what you can with the energy that you have. Build your life on compassion towards yourself and others, and not performance.
So today we are exploring the idea of slowing down. Boundaries are part of slowing down. Boundaries are built on the quiet strength of knowing what you will allow and what you will no longer carry. And I love that line, what I will no longer carry.
Because that's a heavy weight that just keeps you.
Yeah, and even in another one that I read, I think it was in Fierce Love, it said, let go of your burdens. You can travel light. You don't have to carry all these things all the time. And I like this because it's positive. I will allow certain things, but I just, for my health, for my mental health, for my physical health, I'm not going to carry things, particularly those things that are not in my circle of control.
Trust the value of doing less and step away from urgency. I know this might sound Gen X, but the younger generation just seems to have to fill their days with running from thing to thing and experience to experience. Yeah. And I think they just need to... I think that life is buzzing by them because they're not stopping.
And there is clarity in silence. You don't have to prove yourself either physically or in any other way. You can breathe without rushing. You can exist without apologizing.
And we all need rest, physical, mental, emotional, sensory, and spiritual. And there's creative ways to achieve that rest.
The world rushes and pulls and demands, and every gentle motion is a soft prayer. You get to choose what delights you, what empowers you, what allows you to show up in the world feeling like you trust yourself.
So move through life with gentle attention. Everything is worth cherishing. Use your 5 senses to notice.
And when it says everything, it means the good with the bad. Yeah. You move, you notice, you savor, you find the beauty that feeds your soul, and you create that sacred rhythm in your day. Now is worth honoring, so infuse softness into your surroundings. Each moment matters, even here, even now. You get to choose the joy that you have, and you can let other people's behaviors or ways of thinking or ways of like even attacking you get under your skin. And I mean, that's normal humanity, but you can also bring yourself out of it.
Every life needs places where the soul can rest. So you can deliberately build softness around you in your physical space to breathe and to return yourself. Decluttering is a very useful way to get rid of the loudness and the visual distractions around you. And it makes room for clarity, calm, and ease, and even lighting a candle once in a while.
Like on Wednesdays, usually every week, I dust things, but I also take that opportunity to declutter things and put things away. And it really does help once a week to kind of, and I try to do the 5-minute thing. Like if there's stuff laying around, I take 5 minutes and just put stuff away every day or whatever. But I deliberately declutter once a week.
Yeah. And every surface in a house is a hot spot that can collect things, but I'm really making an effort to keep our surfaces without things on them, like at the end of the day. I might not see it every day, but
but I go and sometimes
the
when I'm
counter I'm looking at right now, like I just want to go put those hang the frying pans up.
But I mean, for me, I actually deliberately start at the top of the house and declutter all the way to the bottom once per week. And it really does help, I think. So slowing down and ambition are not opposite. You don't give up on your goals, but you pursue them in a different way with more presence and intuition and joy and intention over pressure and progress over perfection. We have to nurture ourselves. We have to nurture our goals. And we have to, I think I've done a podcast on flow as well. Yeah. Like getting into flow and enjoying the journey and arriving softly. And one of the ways that I've really noticed this is I've started to do these TRX classes with this woman. And as much as they're very hard to do, they're also very soft.
And there's a slow pace to them.
There's a slowness to them, and you arrive softly on everything. There's no whamming things or like it's very slow and soft.
But wouldn't you say your muscles are worked out even more?
More.
Yeah.
Strength under tension, right?
Yeah. Life has seasons. Winter is to rest, to cocoon, reflect, and heal. Spring is to awaken, and it's the season of gentle sharing.
And summer is to shine, expand, joy, connection, creativity, presence. And autumn is a season of reflection, maturity, wisdom, grace, and release. And this doesn't mean that these don't necessarily coincide with the actual seasons.
No.
Like sometimes for me, summer is more of a cocooning time because I'm in the backyard, I'm by the pool, I'm like not really
reading and resting.
Yeah. Whereas in fall, there's the busyness of, other things. So, right. I mean, it doesn't necessarily coincide. And it also needs to coincide with what you need. Right. Maybe you need a season of, maybe you need a season of awakening and it's winter.
Exactly. So it's important just to live in your own season. And you can be aware of that in your body if you take the time to slow down and just think through where you're at that time.
So bring softness into every conversation and hug and boundary and goodbye. Be discerning, connect safely, and choose kindness without people pleasing. That's a really hard one.
That's a hard one.
Tell the truth about harshness. Express your needs without apologizing.
And step away from what no longer feels reciprocal. So let every connection be a soft space to land.
If you keep banging your head against the same wall and you're not getting any reciprocation, it might be time to just softly slide away for a while.
To live slowly is not to avoid sorrow. You just hold pain tenderly. Grief is a process to live, and soft grief is honest. You don't need to pretend to be okay. You move with grief one step at a time.
And grief teaches you to slow down, to soften, to notice. Soft grieving is holding heartbreak in gentle hands and returning to softness every day. It's just a grounded, more resilient way of being. And the soft life is not made of big moments. It's just built quietly in between things with a morning pause and a soft sift and some digital boundaries and some beauty touch points and transition rituals, like taking a breath before you do something difficult. So consistency is also power. Refuse to abandon yourself to meet a standard that doesn't serve your soul, and just choose peace. So choose the slow, soft life in small ways every day. 1,000 tiny choices to stay close to your own heart. And I know that sounds really sappy to some people, but when we're just constantly like pushing ourselves and trying to make things happen that were never meant to happen, I think we have to live softly and just reclaim our peace in a world that profits from our burnout.
Yeah.
Like if you're pushing, then the next thing you're ill. Now you're trying to buy pills to help you not.
Well, and advertising are happy to point out deficits in your life so that you feel you need to buy something. So then you have to work to do it.
So it's that whole fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And you need to choose stillness when urgency is knocking. So a deep breath, a kind thought, an act of care, because softness is actually a practice. It's a choice, and it is a quiet revolution.
So you can choose to live your life with elegant simplicity.
In dwelling, live close to the ground. And this is by Lao.
Oh, this is a poem by Lao Tzu.
In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep it simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present.
Simplicity is a mindful way of living. The gift of simplicity is the gift of abundance. Let's be simple living and high thinking. Be socially, politically, and intellectually active. Like, don't tune out. We need very little in terms of manufactured material possessions in order to live a good, imaginative, and inspiring life. To be ordinary is to be extraordinary.
And I think sometimes you just have to let go of the life you've planned so that you accept the one that's there waiting for you. Like sufficiency over extravagance, comfort over convenience, contentment over cravings, reconciliation over resentment, and learn to live lightly, to live on less, and to make as small a footprint on the planet's resources as possible. And I think that's so important now, because when things are expensive and, maybe you can step back and just say, I don't need to go out or buy this or do this or whatever.
When I know enough is enough, I already have enough. And when I don't know when enough is enough, I will never have enough. And that is an Indian proverb.
To live simply is to see deeply, seeing that which lies beyond appearances, not making life complicated. Simplicity means paying attention to our soil, our soul, and our society. And I think that's just a brilliant statement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the earth we live on, ourselves, and the people around us, basically, is what it's saying. But I don't believe that simplicity means that you put up with a whole bunch of
crap
in your life.
No, not necessarily.
Simplicity is boundaries and, making sure that you're living your truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel it's really interesting for us to just kind of stop and think about all that. And maybe that's where, and maybe it will help you to kind of take a step back. Because I think the world is really hard to cope with right now. And I think a lot of people are coping by tuning out.
Mm-hmm. Which is different than, I guess to some degree, it's a kind of softening, but
I don't think tuning out is
tuning
softening.
out is tuning out of everything. And
like tuning out is just saying, I can't take this, where in the end you can take it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to approach it with softness.
Softening is to break it down into smaller bits and then digesting which ones you can.
Well, and it's also having the strategies to hear about something, but then having like these moments of pause and whatever it is that you do to soften, to engage without, falling into this trap where you complicate it or where you think you have some power over it. Mm-hmm. It's where you do all the little things that you can do in your life with intention, without making yourself feel like you've got to solve everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we get to. I can't do anything about it, so I don't want to know about it. But the thing is, we do want to know about what's happening in the world. It's just our approach to it. And I just feel like you can see that in, you know, the way people do things, when they're honest, when they're straightforward, when they, you know, I can tell you what I feel, but you've got to take that and incorporate that into your own life. But it doesn't stop you from saying it.
Right.
And I think if you look back in all of the things that we've just talked about, it's simplicity means paying attention, but it means uncomplicating our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And we do so many things, I think, that complicate
it. And I think it's easy
simple
to,
things.
I think we slide into it very quickly.
Like instead of just saying, oh no, this weekend, you know, we're just having a quiet weekend or whatever, you feel the pressure of hearing, well, this person's going here and then they're going there and then this experience is happening, that experience, and I've got to give
and then
this, I've got to give.
And then Monday, when people ask me, how was your weekend? I have to have a story of what I did.
Yeah.
Instead of.
And even like when kids come back from holidays, well, I want them to have a story of all the things they did. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, being home with your family, playing games, going for walks, enjoying whatever it is that you were able to purchase over Christmas as a new and fun toy, that's not enough. Mm-hmm. You have to have done this and done this and done this and done this.
Go.
So I think we overcomplicate our lives, and I think it behooves us to just step back and maybe that's where this lands today for you.
Yeah, not as something to master, but something to return to. Because slowing down isn't a one-time decision. It's a series of quiet permissions you give yourself again and again, especially when the world gets loud.
So if something in this conversation resonates with you, if there was even one moment where you felt your shoulders drop or your breath deepen, that's your starting point, not a complete overhaul, just one small shift back towards yourself. And I think sometimes our stressful, burdensome lives keep us from actually reflecting on certain things. We can stay busy enough that we don't have to think about our behavior or our attitude or the things that we do that maybe aren't that great. Mm-hmm. So, and we don't have to think about the world around us if we're just running from thing to thing.
Yeah. So, and we're not asking you to do less so that you fall behind. We're inviting you to do less of what doesn't matter so that you can finally feel what does.
And I think that's a really important thing. It's a priority thing, right? And a soft life means that you maybe step away at times when you know that in your heart that's not the right thing for you. And if this episode felt like a soft place to land today, we'd love for you to share it with someone who might need the same space. And I also feel like it's not pressure. Like I also don't want to put soft pressure on people. You know, if your life is busy and there's a lot of stuff going on, there are seasons of that in your life. Mm-hmm. And I think this is just the moment where you kind of take a step back and say, how can I like simplify my life? As if you're feeling fine about your life and the direct, like,
well, and maybe you can't slow down with all the activity, but maybe there's like a slowdown of the ruminating or slowdown of the over planning and that's
why I like the soft life kind of description.
Yeah,
it's not really slow because your life is your life, but it's soft, and that's where I kind of like that. Yeah.
So if these conversations are meeting you where you are, please subscribe for more.
And leave us a comment, like I said before, and tell us what a soft life looks like for you. Maybe now. We'll all get some ideas about how we can soften our lives.
So next month, I'm going to be introducing my Rise and Restore coaching business. I'm launching a service to help men after prostate cancer surgery, like myself, and I don't want to say too much about it right now.
No, we're going to really get into the nitty gritty of it when we do our May 15th podcast. And we're hoping that it's just something that this was born out of the fact that we felt that I shouldn't say our journey, but your journey of prostate cancer really was made more difficult by the fact that, yes, surgically, medically, even that, there wasn't much information about sort of what was going to happen and whatever. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the actual act of the surgery, that was fine. Like, I mean, they know what they're doing, but it's the before and after, and that is not available.
Yeah.
And add that layer to the fact that men don't talk about stuff.
So it gets complicated. Like, at least in Canada, for women with breast cancer, there's clinics that have all the wraparound.
Yes.
Before and after.
And women do that for each other.
And counseling and support and.
Yeah. And women do that for each other. We do that. That's our natural. We go for coffee. We talk about things. We have that more of an emotional connection that men don't.
And there are men that want that and that can do that, but for the most part, you're shut down and
there's no venue for it.
And there's no venue for it. So I'll explain more about how I'm trying to
building groups of men that can help each other, helping people one-on-one. It's going to be quite a journey.
And it's just about my particular type of cancer in my life, but this would suit for all sorts of men, for all sorts of challenges in life and illnesses and mental health. And it doesn't just have to be about this. I'm staying in my lane because of what I know, but if you're a listener and you're not even thinking about prostate cancer, I think that the episodes will really give you some insight into how to support the men in your life.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today to talk about the soft life. I think it's very apropos at this particular juncture in the world that we seek ways to be softer. So thanks for joining us on No Room for Phonies, episode 159.